The pen tool is a very powerful and useful tool in Illustrator. It's used to draw lines, curves, and to create complex shapes. The pen tool can be found in the left-hand side toolbar on your screen. It looks like a fountain pen. For me, it's the third option down in my toolbar. Once I've clicked it, the options will change on the right-hand side, and now I can see the properties for the pen tool. You can see there's a fill colour and a stroke colour. The stroke colour is used for the line that we're going to draw, and the fill colour is used to colour any shapes that we might create. First, we're going to click on fill colour and select none. It's the white square with a red line through it. Then we can click on a stroke colour and pick any colour we like. I'm going to pick a dark blue. Now I can click again on the pen tool and I can start to draw with it. The pen tool creates lines using anchor points. We create the first anchor point by clicking once on the canvas, and then we can move the pen tool anywhere on the screen to create a new line. I can click to apply the second anchor point and a line will be created in the same colour that I chose for my stroke. I can then move on and add new anchor points to create a shape. I can place the anchor points wherever I like, but to complete the shape, I must connect the last anchor point with the first one. If I don't do this, I won't be able to add any fill colour to the shape because there will be gaps. Now I've connected all of the anchor points, I can move to the fill colour and choose a fill colour from the slider at the bottom of the screen. I can change it to any colour I want by clicking on that colour. I can change the colour of the stroke now by clicking on the stroke colour option and choosing a different colour for the stroke. Right now it's only 1 pixel wide and we can't really see the line at all. We can change the size of the stroke by changing the size of the slider. Click the up arrow to change the size of the stroke on your shape. We can also change the opacity, which is the transparency of the shape, by clicking on the slider and moving it left and right to make it more or less see-through. Let's try drawing some more lines with the pen tool. Click the pen tool and turn the stroke down to 1 again. I'm going to choose another dark blue and I'm going to turn the fill colour to red. Now with the pen tool selected, I can click to create a new anchor point. Now I can make a line by clicking and holding. I'm not letting go of the mouse button here. Keep holding the mouse or trackpad button down and move the cursor outwards so you see a lever with 2 circles at the end appear. I can rotate this lever to change the curve of the line I'm creating. As I move the lever up or down to make it larger, the curve also becomes larger. So you can resize and change the appearance of the curve by moving this lever around. When you're happy with the curve that you want to create, you can release the mouse or trackpad button and your line will be created. You can see that it's filled in the shape that I've created, but only part of it is curved. It will continue to fill the shape as I create new anchor points. I can make a second curve and click to create the new anchor point. And you can see it's filled in another part. Now I can click to connect the 2 anchor points, and now I can move to make this line a curve. It's now filled in the oval that I've created. And this is how you can create lots of complex shapes using the pen tool. Again, you can change the colour by just selecting on the sliders like we did before. To deselect this shape that I have, hold the Command key and click anywhere on the canvas to deselect. I can now click on the pen tool again, and I'm just going to set the fill colour to black and the stroke colour to green. I'm now going to create a shape on top of the one I've just created. Click to place an anchor point, click, hold, and then you can adjust the line. And now I'm going to join that anchor point again, hold, and I'm going to move this outward, and I'm going to create a strange looking circle in the center. To deselect what I've just created, hold Command and press anywhere on the canvas. Now if we look in the layers panel, you can see I have one layer and it contains all of the shapes that I've just drawn. If I click on the little arrow at the side, I can open this layer up and see all the sub-layers. These are called paths. The paths are the shapes that I drew. If I click on one and then click on the circle next to it, you can see that the path has been selected. I can now go to the Properties panel and change the colours for that particular shape. If I want to select another of my paths, I can go back to the Layers panel, choose another path by clicking on the dot next to it and making sure that the layer or the sub-layer is selected, and then go to Properties and change the properties using the tools. And that's how you use the pen tool. It's very important that you remember to use the layers and select the correct one each time you make changes using the pen tool. I'm now going to draw one last complex shape with the pen tool. I'm going to draw a dragon or bat wing. I'm going to start by clicking the pen tool, and then I'm going to draw my first anchor point, then my second anchor point, and I'm going to make a curve. Now, you can see that if I just continue on, the line is already curved, and I don't want that. I want to make a fresh line. So I'm going to hold the Command key down so the line disappears, and then I'm going to click on the canvas to deselect what I've just drawn. Now I can go back to my previous anchor point and draw another line. Now I can make the curve look the way I want it to. Hold the Command key, click on the canvas to deselect, and then return to the last anchor point and draw another line. Now make this a curve. Hold the Command key, click on the canvas, and draw from the anchor point again, a fresh line. Hold the Command key, click on the canvas to deselect. I'm now going to pick my anchor point, and I'm going to draw a line to my first anchor point, and I'm going to create a curve. I can let go, hold the Command key, click on the canvas, and I've made a more complex wing-like shape. Going to the properties, just like before, I can change the fill colour and the stroke colour. I need to make sure that I've selected it first. I can click on the selection tool and drag a box, or just like before, I can go to the path and select it that way. Then go to the properties, click, add the fill colour, and change the stroke colour if I want. And that's how you use the pen tool in Illustrator.